Good morning from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. We are live. Impromptu? Top 10 most missed study guide questions. As you can see, my tech team has been doing some stuff here in the studio. I don't know what's going on here. Well, we got a little basketball court over here. Yeah, it's pretty. Go a little bit closer. All right, how's everybody this morning? We got a spritz of rain here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. First, it was supposed to be significant rain, first significant rain of the season, but some changes over the Pacific saved us from that. Darwin Sonata is in the house, always supporting Michigan. Let me see what I could do on that. Yeah. Steve in the chat. Good to see you, Steve. Mark Asmussen in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Sneak attack. We've got a very large conference in San Francisco, the APEC conference, which just dramatic freeway closure, off-ramp closures, and high security, super high security around the convention center in downtown San Francisco, causing some issues for the locals, shall we say. Mike Goodwin jumping in from Florida. Good to see you, Mike. Happy Tuesday. What are we doing here on a Tuesday? It's not Friday. Tom Hickey, sunny Milwaukee. Excellent. Yes, so we are graced. All right, so here's the deal. Parents arrive. Charlie arrives, our grandson. Parents leave. Charlie stays. So we are parenting this newborn by ourselves. Oh my gosh, we got to recall how it went those many years ago. But we got through our first night alone, and everything's going well. If we do hear something in the background. Yeah, but we're super excited to have Charlie here, and it's fun. It takes a lot of energy, I'll tell you that much. Those of you with newborns, holy cow. Yes, not oddly relaxing, very relaxing, yes. Mark Stoll is in the house, good to see you. Rod, all right. All right, for a few minutes, we're just sort of messing around here. I do have a question, right? So tomorrow I'm planning on, Steve, I don't even know, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks? Maybe grandma can put the answer in the chat. He's young, I'll tell you that much. Yes, it's been a while since I've been called upon to execute those skills that we had developed, to a fine point many years ago. So, yes, refresher. Let's see. I have a question about the NFHS rules questions. Test 2. Are these the questions from NFHS Rules Test 2? Jason Hayes sent me these. And before I go ahead and create all the slides and do all the work, let me make sure these are the correct questions. Let's see what we got here. Does this look familiar? First question is throw in after a 10-second is always awarded at. Yeah, that's a great question. The throw in after a 10-second violation is always awarded at. Where would that be? It's obviously the violation. Oh, this is an interesting question. right? So the suggestion here is that it is one of the 4 designated spots nearest the violation. All right, let's look at this question. This is awesome. And you can let me know in the chat whether these are, right? So I have a scenario for you. We're dribbling in the backcourt. Official has their account. Let's say it's a state where they're not using the shot clock and they have a visible 10-second count. Player in the backcourt, A1, releases a long pass to a teammate near the basket while the ball is in flight over the front court. The officials rule a 10-second violation. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes, they were. Where would the resulting throw-in be? The ball is, let's say, at the free throw line in the front court. That's where the ball is. Where would the throw-in be? Right? This is a 10-second violation. What is the status of the ball when it is over the court at the free throw line? This is a great question. And of course, the status of the ball is where it was last in contact with a player, which was in the back court. So our correct answer here would be one of the 4 designated spots nearest the violation. Tremendous. Right, Jason. So that's from the Missouri test, but is that the actual NFHS test? Rod, you got anything on that? Is this the test you guys took? I know up in Sacramento they take the NFHS test. Does that look familiar as the first question? Let me know in the chat. Uh-oh. We've got action in the chat. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm in need of the NFHS. Billy Mack, do you have the NFHS test questions? Possibly the answers as well. Send it to me at hello@abetterofficial.com, right? That would be, yeah. Okay. I could always do these questions. These are good questions. Maybe they are the questions, but mixed up. Let me know. Okay, so let me see. Also, what is the status of that poll? Hold on. Oh, awesome. Now, how am I going to get those results on the screen? Hey, be quiet. Let's see. Can't do that. So what I could do to do that, give me just a second here. Did it without the help of my tech team. Okay, so I'm hoping we can use this on 5 Play Friday to get, what do you have? Block charge on play number 1. I'm going to turn that off there. So let me say if I end this poll, and I can create a new poll, and that would say on play number 2, block or charge, block, charge, and I start the poll. And now we've got a poll related to play number 2. So maybe I could have my tech team working in the background. Yeah, that's something to think about. Something to think about. I'll put that down. Oh, Rod, if you could do that, that would be tremendous, right? So one of the issues that I have in creating my, it's like I could talk about the rules involved in the question, but sometimes just the fundamental what the question is asking. Like we'll have a first question today that's all of these are true except, and sometimes I'm sitting here, I don't pick up on the except, and I say, well, that's true, that's the answer. So that would be awesome. Yeah, email them to me at, where would we email them to me? At hello@abetterofficial.com. Boom. Look at that. I am just flying high without my tech team today. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, Billy, if we get the pivot foot. Thanks, Rod. I appreciate that. Tom asks, when a player goes out of bounds and dribbles for many seconds without being closely guarded and passes to the player out of bounds. So if the player returning from out of bounds, I assume we're talking about, Tom, a player voluntarily leaving the court, I assume we're talking about here. Oh, I got to get this guy out of the way. Hold on. Let's go here. If a player voluntarily leaves the court, they go from one side of the court to the other, and their teammate is dribble for 10 seconds, and the player is making a slow, it's all the elements of returning to the court would apply. If the player left the court for momentum, like they're a player down the lane, they dish to a teammate in the corner, and they, end up going out of bounds. The teammate in the corner pump fakes and passes to the player returning to the court, who quickly puts the ball in the basket. That's a legal play. That player didn't leave voluntarily. If the player leaves voluntarily, upon returning, they are the first to touch, right? Let's discount the what's going on while they are out of bounds. Let's say a player intentionally runs out of bounds and a teammate passes, and then the player enters the court and returns and receives the basketball. That's an illegal play because they are the first to touch upon returning. Or you could say the next to touch upon returning. I think that's the spirit and intent of the rule. Does that make sense? Irregardless of the time frame. Like let's think it through. Let's go absurd. The player runs out of bounds. Like let's say the that play, that one where the team devised a play where the kid would leave the court, he'd go out into the lobby of the gym. He'd come back in at another entrance, step onto the court, and receive the basketball. That's sort of our 15-second interval where he basically disappears, right, for 15 seconds. He comes back on the court, receives the pass. That's a violation. right? Because they were the next to receive or the upon returning. Let's say the player does that same thing, and upon returning, their teammate passes to another teammate who passes to that player. Legal, right? Because upon returning, they were not the next to touch or the first to touch the basketball. Some action occurred after they returned to the court. I would say that is our spirit and intent and proper adjudication on that play. Does that make sense? Let me know. Okay, I look at my new clock up on the wall. So if you see me do this, I got a new clock on the wall. Because, previously in 5-Play Fridays, I'd say the calendar on the wall says it's Friday. Okay. So I should put my calendar up there by the clock. Yeah. Paper calendar? Do they still make those? Yes, they do. I love this. I love today's kind of a low stress environment. I only have 10 questions. Right. So today we're looking at the most missed study guide questions from the CBOA study guide. CBOA produces a study guide essentially for California officials, which is 215 questions in length. This, ultimately, the results of everybody taking the online study guide are compiled, and the most missed questions come into focus. Why would officials miss questions more often than others? Sometimes it's going to be because the answer given in the study guide was incorrect or the question was poorly worded. Definitely an issue. And here's the other caveat. It's really difficult to create multiple choice questions and answers. It's hard, right? Because you create a summary of what the scenario is, but maybe you leave out a detail. It's implied what the detail is. If we include the detail, then the question becomes, much more wordy, and the answers are all wordy, etc. Right? So some tests are: here's a scenario, were the officials correct, yes or no? Sounds like basketball rules expert formatting, which makes it simple in that we can do all of the specifics in the question and we don't have to worry about lots of words in the answers. So we did 4 episodes of study guide questions. And again, the purpose of our doing that was not to, okay, here's the answer to question number 1, answer to 2, answer to 3. It's to use the questions as an opportunity to discuss the fundamental rules that are involved in the question. So today we are looking at the most missed questions in the 2023 CBOA study guide. And we're going to do that. Let's look at question number 10. Most missed. We'll count down from 10 to 1. Here's question number 10. That didn't work. Hold on just a second. Why did I go there? Okay. I know what. Give me just a sec. Okay. All right. I go there. Oh, boy. That lingered for quite a while. All right, let's try it. A1 has the ball for the first of 2 free throws. While bouncing the ball bounces off A1's foot and rolls away towards the basket. All of the following are true except which? Ay, ay, ay. A, the official shall blow the whistle immediately. B, A1 cannot go retrieve the basketball. C, the official shall re-administer the free throw to A1. Or D, the result of is a free throw violation on A1. Right? So the scenario is it's the first of 2 free throws. The official bounces the ball to the thrower. The thrower catches the basketball. This free throw has begun, right? 3 restarts in the game of basketball. Jump ball, throw in, free throw. Each one has a separate set of rules and restrictions, and those restrictions start at a certain point. When a thrower has the ball at their disposal, all restrictions for the throw-in have begun. If that official in this, or that player in this instance, dribbles the ball off of their foot, they have basically lost their ability to attempt this free throw, and it would be a violation by rule. So, the key question here is all of these are true except which, right? This is an except which question, which can sometimes be confusing. We shall blow our whistle immediately. By rule, yeah, I guess we should. A little gray area there. They cannot go retrieve the basketball. Once it's begun, they cannot step on the line or into the lane prior to releasing their free throw. The official shall re-administer, right? If we're doing youth games, maybe we do it that way, but in high school, no. And the result is a free throw violation on A1. So the correct answer here, the one that is true except, the one that is not true, is that the official shall re-administer the free throw to A1. There's no re-administration. This is a free throw violation, and the resulting action would be the attempt of the second of the 2 free throws for our thrower. All right, that's the 10th most missed question. Let's look at question number 9, most missed. Killing me. I'm pressing the wrong button. After the game's opening jump ball has been tipped, but before it is controlled by any player, A1 fouls B2. When shall the alternating possession arrow be set to point towards Team A's basket? A, immediately after A1's foul is reported. B, prior to the ball being put at the disposal of Team B for the throw-in. C, after the ball is placed at the disposal of Team B for the throw-in. Or D, after Team B's throw-in ends. I know the reason why this is a most missed question. It's redundant, superfluous. Is this really a thing? This is a great example of this is a test question for a test question's sake, right? In an infinitesimal percentage of instances would this actually become any sort of issue in the actual game itself, when the arrow is actually the instant that the arrow is correctly set in this instance. It is defined, it is in the rules book, Is this something that we're going to be aware of in our game, or it's real rules minutia, right? And it appears on a test, and officials are like, either. But let's look at the answers. When shall the alternating possession arrow be set? What is the instant that it should actually be set? Immediately after the foul is reported, prior to the ball being put at the disposal, after the ball is at the disposal, or after the throw-in ends, right? By rule, in this instance, we're going to set the arrow in the proper direction when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower. If this was a sideline throw-in, we would bounce the ball to the thrower catches the basketball. It is considered to be at their disposal and live at that point. That is the instant the arrow would be set. Are we going to stop the game and say, you said it earlier, right? It's a bit of minutia. It's understandable in my mind why officials in this instance would be like, I don't know, because it doesn't impact our officiating on the court. It does, in fact, impact our rules nerdage, right? And yeah, we like to be expert in the rules of high school basketball. All right, that was the 9th most missed. What is the 8th most missed question? The CBOA study guide for 2023. Before A1 releases the ball on the second of 2 free throws, A2 pushes B2. Immediately afterward, A3 steps into the free throw lane. Team B is in the bonus. All of the following are true, except which? A, B2 is awarded free throws. B, A2's push is a team control foul. C, A3's violation is ignored. Or D, A1 shall receive his or her second free throw. Well, this very question was on the test last year, and when I did this study guide, did I get this question correct? No, there's a lot going on this question. Sometimes we have plays on the court where there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this question. First of all, it is an except which question, right? Some people are just they look at the question, they look at an answer, oh, that's true, and they put that on, right? It's an understandable mistake. But all of these are true except one of the 2. One of the 4, rather. Okay, so before A1 releases the ball on the second of 2 free throws, right? These are all the variables that, right? The ball is in the hand of the thrower and a foul occurs. Their teammate fouls an opponent. Immediately after the foul, A3, a teammate of the thrower, steps into the lane. Team B is in the bonus. Oh my gosh, right? Maybe the ball goes in, maybe it doesn't. It's not even included here, right? Will B2 be awarded bonus free throws? Since they are in the bonus and their player was fouled. That's sort of the essential question here. The ball is in control of our shooter A1. A1 is considered to have team control in this instance. The foul by their teammate, therefore, is a team control foul by rule. Since it is a team control foul, we will not attempt bonus free throws. Really important to identify this foul as a team control foul. This is not a common scenario. This is not a block charge play or a pass and crash play or a bad screen play where we know, oh, that's an offensive foul. So that's critical on this play. A2's push is a team control foul. That is a true statement. A3's violation is ignored. That is a true statement. The ball became dead when the player fouled. A1 shall receive his or her second free throw. This was the second of 2 free throws. They will not. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the answer to the question here first, and then we'll talk about the scenario itself. Our correct answer here is all of these are true except which? B2 is awarded free throws. So let's go through the scenario. Second of 2 free throws, player attempts, teammate fouls prior to the release. At that point, the ball has become dead. We have a team control foul on team A. The ball is dead. There no longer will be a try for goal by our thrower. They are due a second merited free throw. So in this instance, we're going to clear the lane. A1 will attempt their merited free throw. We will resume the game with a throw-in to Team B at the spot nearest the foul, a backcourt front throw-in at the spot nearest the foul. So there's a lot going on this play. This is not a common play at all, right? Where a player fouls prior to the release, right? But it's a chance for us to really understand the rules and concepts involved on the play. Okay. Charlie's checking in. Sweet! Charlie boy! Well, that's always a good thing to feel like Friday. Oh, Ted, you did not miss anything. You did not miss a thing. You should. Yes. Thanks for bearing with me. Yeah, so we have a little discrepancy, Thomas, with play, because there still exists a player technical foul for failure to return to the court promptly, deceitfully delay their return to the court. And now we have a new rule, and that rule still exists, right? So I would say that the new rule supersedes that, right? So if our thrower, because the problem is that when we have a thrower, right? So we have the thrower. They have a end line throw in at one of the 3 spots. They release a throw-in pass to a teammate outside the 3-point arc on their side of the court, who passes to the top of the arc. And now our player player from the, cuts to the basket. And now our out of bounds player waiting, sort of waiting for the defense to forget about them. And then they pop out for a 3-point beyond the 3-point arc and receive the pass. The problem here is that this player did not leave the court voluntarily. The new rule talks about players leaving the court voluntarily. The old rule was a thrower, after releasing the throw-in pass, may not delay their return. So we have sort of a conflict that needs to be resolved. I would assume a case play would be the answer to that. So Thomas asks, since a player can leave, Thomas, if player A1 runs to gain an advantage, like let's say there's players on the floor in front of a player in the backcourt, and instead of jumping over the players or running to the inside on the court, they run outside, right? Legal. This is now legal. They voluntarily left the court. They are able to pass this stoppage on the court, this blockage, right? They've gained an advantage. I don't think that's the spirit and intent of the rule. They're running out of bounds, right? And they get to the front court. If they, upon returning to the court, are the first to receive the basketball, that would be a violation. But in the absence of that, if they just return to the court in the front court and their teammate across the way shoots the basketball, right? That's not a violation. That is my interpretation. I think that is the spirit and intent of the rule. Do we have a lot of guidance about these plays? No, we don't. We don't have case play scenarios other than a player leaves voluntarily, returns, and is the first to touch. The rule still exists, so yes. All right, Tony. jumping in from north of the border. Okay, all right, I think I've gone through 8. All right, the next question, the 7th most missed question in the study guide. Let's take a look. How many times am I going to do that? That is the question. With Team A leading by 6 points, which of the following is or are true when B1 is fouled on a successful try so near the expiration of time in the fourth quarter that the timer is unable to stop the clock after the foul and the ball is in the air, but before time expires? There's a lot of words there. There's a lot of words. A, B1's goal is awarded, no free throw is attempted. B, B1 is awarded 2 free throws. Well, that's very, very generous. C, B1 is awarded 1 free throw. Or D, B1's goal is canceled. Which of the following is true? That's a key, right? So we have a last second shot in a game that currently the score is a 6-point differential, right? The key element here is that, yes, that player is due a merited free throw. They were fouled prior to the horn, but the horn sounded because the foul was so close to the expiration of time that there's no definitive knowledge about how much time we would actually put on the clock. So by rule in this instance, even though the player is due a merited free throw, that free throw will not be attempted, as it will not affect the result of the game. It would just simply, add a point to the score. So in this instance, defined by rule, and these end-of-game scenarios are also a point of emphasis this year for National Federation of High School, end-of-game scenarios, etc., and being good. So our correct answer here is that B1's goal is awarded, but no free throw is to be attempted in this situation. Boy, that took a lot of pressing. We're not going to attempt the free throw in this situation. Now, this brings up, of course, a situation that many officials are going to say, well, wait a minute, I do have definitive knowledge that the foul occurred before the horn, so we have to put time on the clock. I know it occurred before, and even though it didn't stop in time, right, so we have to put, and they'll make up a number, 0.5, 0.7, 0.3, 0.2, right? NFHS has this scenario defined. When the foul occurs so close to the horn that the timer cannot stop the clock, then we are we go with zeros on the clock. That's our definition by rule in this scenario. So that's our question. Where am I? That was number 7? Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's look at question number 6, the most missed question. Number 6. Which of the following is true when A1 commits a player control foul against B2 in Team A's backcourt? A, B2 shall receive free throws if Team B is in the bonus. I hope not. B, Team B shall be awarded a throw-in at one of the 4 designated spots in its front court nearest to where the foul occurred. C, Team B shall be awarded a throw-in at the out-of-bounds spot nearest to where the foul occurred. Okay, so this brings up our new rule for 2023, the 4 throw-in spots in the front court. Which of the, well, this is in the backcourt, right? It says right there, Team A's backcourt. So we know that when a throw-in is in the backcourt, it's at the spot nearest the foul, just like an out-of-bounds violation. So we can get confused here, but the foul, it's a team control foul in Team A's backcourt, which means that the resulting throw-in will be for Team B in Team B's front court. So since it's a front court throw-in, it's not an out-of-bounds violation. All throw-ins in the front, adjacent to the front court, to a team's front court, will be at one of the 4 spots 4 designated spots, the nearest of the 4, unless it is an out-of-bounds violation. So since this was a team control foul in the backcourt, the resulting throw-in would be at one of the 4 designated spots in Team B's front court. Yeah. So if we're not up to speed on the new rules, I can see why officials would make this mistake. And also the fact that the word backcourt is included, right? So we don't necessarily think it through. Oh, this is a front court throw-in for the opponent. All right. So we've answered that question. Question number 5, most missed. Let's go. Which of the following combination results in A1 being ejected? A1 being ejected. Is there anything wrong with that language? 2 technical fouls are charged to A1 for misconduct or unsporting behavior. 2 technicals on a player does have an impact. 1 intentional foul charged to A1 and 1 technical foul charged to A1 for misconduct or unsporting behavior. So they have an intentional foul and a technical foul. Does that have a result on that player? 2 intentional fouls are charged to A1, or D, all of the above. Which of these combinations results in A1 being ejected? First of all, language police, players are never, ever ejected in high school. There are no ejections of players. Players are disqualified by rule and may no longer participate. Adults are ejected. Head coach, 2 technical fouls. Coach, you are ejected. You must leave the visual confines. You may not participate in coaching your team for the rest of this game. You have been ejected. Players are disqualified. Okay, so again, CBOA kind of is very adjacent to NCAA women's rules. In NCAA women's and men's, players are ejected. They have to leave. Okay? High school players are disqualified. We are directed to the bench where the head coach has their responsibility for what happens to them next. But we do not eject players. So, that being said, 2 technical fouls will result in a player being disqualified. That's going to be our correct answer, right? B, 1 intentional foul and 1 technical foul in NCAA women's would result in a player being ejected. But this is not NCAA women's. 2 intentional fouls charged to A1. In high school, a player can commit 4 intentional fouls for excessive contact, and they would have 4 personal fouls. They would be personal fouls, and they would not be disqualified, even though they had several instances of excessive contact. So our correct answer here, pretty straightforward. 2 technical fouls charged to a player will result in disqualification. Yeah. Okay. Remembering which button to press, I'm going to press and move on. During the dead ball period that follows a traveling violation by B1, B2 taunts A1, followed by A3 taunting B2. Which of the following are true? So during a dead ball, we have B2 taunting A1, and then we have A3 taunting B2, right? So this is a scenario that, understanding by rule, we understand how many officials are going to handle this situation and treat those as offsetting technical fouls. But by rule, we might have something different. Our possible answers are B2 and A3 are charged with a double technical foul. In practice, this will be the most common result in this scenario. This is my judgment, right? Many officials would not treat this correctly. B, both teams shall shoot free throws. C, A1 and B2 shall shoot the free throws. Or D, the fouls are of equal gravity. What kind of language is that? So, equal gravity is language from NCAA women's, right? NCAA women's would handle this situation very differently, but NFHS high school rules, we are going to handle this in fashion. We do not, if in this instance, B2 had taunted A1 and A1 had responded with B2's taunt, then we have action between two players. Then we have a possible double. But in this instance, B2 taunted A1 and then A3 taunted B2. So we have two separate instances. Both will be penalized, and they will be, the result would be administered in the order of occurrence. Critical to administer in the order of occurrence because that's going to determine who gets the ball at the end of the technical fouls. So B2 taunting A1, that's a technical foul on B2. A3 taunting B2 would be a technical foul on A3. Team A, any player or eligible substitute could attempt tactical foul free throws. So in answer C here, A1 and B2, right? Not a thing. Not a thing. Any player or eligible substitute would attempt, and then any Team B player or eligible substitute would attempt those two free throws, and Team B in this instance would be awarded a division line table opposite the throw-in as a result. Understanding technical foul rules and restrictions is critical. I have created a new course. I'll put a link to where you can find it on technical fouls. Dominating our understanding of technical fouls is critical in order to officiate high school basketball. Yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go there. Let me know if I screwed anything up. Tony, it's good to see you as well. Whether 'tis nobler to bear the slings and arrows of pain and misfortune. It's like the only Shakespeare I know. Yes, I mean, Jordan, when we see the question, our brain doesn't immediately, our brain doesn't immediately make that distinction, right? On the court, we should certainly be able to make that distinction. Of course, NFHS says the guidance is officials need to ask themselves three questions when we're about to administer a throw-in, right? And one of those is if I'm administering a front court throw-in for any reason, how did we get here? Was this for the result of an out-of-bounds violation? Then it's going to be at the spot of the out-of-bounds. Is it for anything else? Then it's going to be at one of the four spots. If we simply just have that pause, right? There's a play I saw online where the official is about to administer a throw-in, and then they point the player to the correct spot. That's going to happen a lot all across the country as this rule is implemented. And of course, we have to maybe have some, right? So first of all, it brings into bear, what I feel is most officials don't designate the spot. Like when they rule this foul, this team control foul that was in the play, they will not designate the spot. They'll just rule the foul, right? And they'll go report. They'll be in a rush. So we're going to see that a lot. All right, so Thomas is bringing up a scenario where, where our player, let's say this is our player who's on the verge of a record, or this is a Billy at the end of the bench who hits the shot as the clock expires. And the fans go crazy. They love Billy, or they're fouled and the shot doesn't go in, and they'd be awarded 2 merited free throws. It's Billy at the end of the bench, right? Let's say it's a special needs player, or an end of game scenario, or it's the it's the captain who's on the verge of breaking a record, etc. Many officials in that instance would say, "Oh, I have definitive knowledge we're going to put time on the clock, and that player is going to attempt those free throws. If we do so, have we committed a crime? Have we? No. No, we have not. Excellent. Good to see you, Rod. Ah, well, you've come to the right spot, Tony. You've come to the right spot. Okay, I'm going to go back here. I think we're in the final three. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Let's see. Uh-oh. Did the wrong thing. Did I never do the answer? I want to know that. Yeah, we got 3 questions to go. Okay. Do that. I'll do that. And I'll do. All right, we've got 3 questions to go. We're down to the top 3 most missed questions. Let's look at question number 3. When may cheerleaders or other entertainment be allowed on the court? Well, that's a really simple question. There's no way the question asker could screw this up. Both during a 30 or 60-second timeout, during a 60-second timeout, during a 30-second timeout, or D, there are no regulations. Is this really a question people got wrong? During both of the... So when may cheerleaders or other entertainment be allowed on the court? During a 60-second timeout. This has always been the case. This is not a big deal. Obviously, one of the things we want to do before the game is go to the game administration and say, where can I find you in case of this, that, or the other thing occurs in our game? Where will you be? Right? If we've got cheerleaders from both squads, great idea for the officials to contact the head of the cheerleaders and say, do you understand your restrictions during a 60-second timeout? You can come on the court, play, the cheerleaders need to be outside the lane area during live play, etc. Where are your cheerleaders going to be? Right? Are you going to come on the court during 60-second timeouts? Do you have tumblers who may come down the court during a 60-second timeout and our officials have to run out of the way? Oh, look out, ref. Look out. All right, so our correct answer here is during a 60-second timeout. I think this question is here by mistake. Nobody's going to make this mistake. Come on. During a 60 is when cheerleaders or other entertainment are allowed on the court by rule. I will say, I just saw a video on YouTube of it was during a 60-second timeout or during halftime. The cheerleaders come on and they do it's almost like a haka where you're shouting at the other team, at the other cheerleading squad. It's a call and response kind of thing, except they didn't like each other and a fight breaks out. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine in your game? Can you imagine? Let's go there. Guy, how many times am I going to do that? A player who's been withdrawn may re-enter during the next opportunity to substitute. A, after the clock is properly started following his or her replacement. B, when the opponents have committed a violation or foul before the game clock has been properly started. Or C, when an official's or scorer's error occurs in recording a foul, which results in a player being replaced. Or D, all of the above. Okay, it's an odd question. A player has been withdrawn. Is that language from the rules book? Is a player ever withdrawn? What has occurred? A player has been withdrawn. Like coach sends a substitute to the table. There's a foul. We're going to beckon the coach. The coach says, hey, no, I don't want the sub. And he comes back to the bench. Is that a player being withdrawn? Yeah. So I have an issue with that. If a player has been properly substituted for, they may not return to the game until the clock has properly started. The player must sit a tick, is the way it's often referred to between officials. The clock must properly start. So we have a situation where, let's say it's a 1-on-1, right? Let's say it was a 1-on-1 in the past. Okay. Let's say, okay. Let's say it's bonus free throws. Prior to the last of the bonus free throws, a player is subbed out, and the player enters the substitute enters the game. The thrower makes the second free throw, and the coach wants to sub that player back in. Right? They may not return to the game. They must wait until the clock has properly started. So that's the critical component in this play. But this does bring up a scenario that I just experienced recently that we have to be aware of as basketball officials. So our correct answer here is given by our test administration is when an official or scorer's error occurs in recording a foul results in a player being replaced. So you could have a scenario where player A1 is dribbling the basketball. Player B1 is ruled for a hand check. The officials report. The coach, this is in the first period. The coach says, gets a sub to the table, and they sub that player in, right? Because the scorer says 2. But the visiting book, let's say, says, no, that's his first foul, right? And there's a discussion. There's a discrepancy with the book. The game is halted while that's resolved, etc. Ultimately, it's determined that they only have one. That is their first player foul, and the coach says, I want the player back in the game. Can that player come into the game in that instance? By rule? Here's another scenario, right? And I just experienced this myself. We're late in the game. We have a player who commits a foul in the backcourt. Hold on. Tech team. Yeah, system auto mute. Okay. All right. And let's say that they have recently committed a foul, but now their team has the ball. We know that there's 4 team fouls on this team. No, we don't know that. Let's say we're unaware of the team control foul, team fouls, team foul count. It's a backcourt situation. There is it's not a backcourt. It's a front court situation by our player who's been fouling recently. He's amped up, etc. He commits an illegal screen on the opponent. We report the foul. This is on, it was on 53. Illegal screen, team control foul, right? And our scorer says, what's our reaction when our scorer goes like this? That player is disqualified. Coach, that's 5 on 53. Need a sub. Sub comes to the table. We bring them in. Scorer, no, ref, that's 5 team fouls. That's 5 team fouls. We should be shooting bonus. Oh, okay, wait a minute. How many fouls does 53 have? Oh, he only has 4. We've disqualified a player, and they do not have 5 fouls. Could that player return in that instance? I would say yes. Yes, they could. This is something we're going to have to be aware of. A scorer raising five fingers you know, it previously had meant one thing. That's 5 on 53. Now, how are we going to manage that scenario for official, in situations where bonus free throws are due? How are we going to have our score? My counsel is go to your score before the game and say, when we commit when a team commits their 4th team foul, be very emphatic. That is 4. That's the 4th team foul, right? Giving the crew a heads up, which would be helpful when we first adopt this rule, that the next one will be bonus free throws. When we have bonus free throws, because there are 5 team fouls in a period, give me this, right? That way there's no confusion in this scenario. But in this scenario, we have a situation where we could say, no, we're going to bring that player back because of a official's error in recording a foul, which results in a player being replaced. I guess it's sort of similar. In any event, that is the listed answer. The correct answer here should be A. After the clock is properly started, following his or her replacement, a player who has been substituted for may re-enter during the next opportunity to substitute. That is a true statement. Why it says C as a correct answer, this is obviously incorrect by our administrating questioners, creators, etc. All right. Down to two possible questions. Let's look at the second most missed question on the study guide. On a throw-in touched in the backcourt, which begins when an inbounds player legally touches the ball inbounds? This is a California-specific question, and it could involve a situation where other states have adopted shot clock rules that are similar to this. A throw-in touched in the backcourt, which begins when an inbounds player legally touches the ball inbounds. Okay, a throw-in is touched in the backcourt. Implication, I guess, is this is after a scored goal, but let's say this is a division line throw-in. Player goes into the backcourt, we throw the ball, the thrower throws the ball, and it is touched by the teammate in the backcourt. What begins at that instance in California? In California, we have a shot clock, and we use the shot clock for ruling 10-second backcourt violations. There's no visible count in California for a 10-second backcourt count. We use the clock, and thus the 10-second backcourt count would begin on the touch. The correct answer given in the book here is the game clock only. But the correct answer here would be in California for boys' games, right? For girls' games, we don't have a 10-second count in the backcourt. For boys' games, the game clock, the shot clock, and the 10-second count would begin on the legal touching in the backcourt. Now, if you have a situation where this is after a throw-in, after a scored goal, then this makes a lot of sense, right? The team... after a scored goal, they're inbounding the ball from the backcourt. They have 10 seconds to gain front court status. That makes sense. What if the team's already gained front court status and they have a division line or they have a throw in at the 28-foot mark due to a common foul? Right? There's a throw-in situation. They throw the ball into the backcourt. The ball is deflected by their teammate. They muff the throw-in, and the ball's bouncing towards the end line. Has our 10-second backcourt count started in that instance? In California, I guess it has. So this could be confusing, very understandable why that would be the case. This obviously does not apply using NFHS basketball rules. Some states may utilize the shot clock for making rulings on 10-second backcourt, as we do in California. All right, so we're down to our final question. the mostest missed question will be next. You can find all of the videos covering all 215 of the study guide questions at the link on the screen, in the show description, in the pinned comment, and I'm also going to put a link up above so you can find, if you want to have more understanding of the rules regarding the study guide questions for this year. But with that, let's move on to the most missed question for 2023. Oh no. That was the most missed question. I lost track. Oh no. Oh, the editing is going to be fun on this one. Ay, ay, ay. Zoot, you weren't here to crew save for me. Ay. Well, like I say, Thomas, it is difficult to write rules, questions, and answers. But what's obviously missing is a vetting process, right? If we release this study guide to knowledgeable basketball officials, they should at least be able to come back and say, okay, on question 47, should say this instead of that. Stop using so many NCAA women's. I mean, the number of NCAA women's officials who officiate high school in California is going to be an insignificant percentage of all officials. So there's that. Wow. What an exciting conclusion. We're not shooting a team control foul in the backcourt. No, we're not. Well, I think these test questions were constructed by a collegiate official, right? I think that's obvious to me. Yeah. So that sort of like puts us behind the eight ball a little bit yeah. But it's hard. 215 questions. It's hard to create that many questions and do it well. Because like in the course that I described, the technical foul course, I broke it up so that there's actually 9 quizzes, 4-question quizzes. And I had to create those quizzes, and that's hard. It's hard. And I'm sure nits could be picked with the questions that I asked. So. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so I just wanted to create all the 4 video series resides off of YouTube. I mean, it's also on YouTube, but it's off of YouTube. But this will live on YouTube after editing, obviously. Oh, we've had fun with that. Wow, I did not think this was going to take 75 minutes. I'll tell you that much. I did not think that. Let me do this. I'm going to change the background color to this. So now when I go this, this. And now when I go, let's see, if I go here, and I change, and I go here, something like that, and now, yeah, that's a little better with this background. Yeah, it was the tech team. No, I'm never, ever throwing my crew under the bus. Yeah, it was. It was them. All right. Well, tomorrow I'm planning on doing NFHS 50 questions. It took 10. It took an hour today to do 10. So we're going to have a brisk pace. One of the advantages of NFHS tests is there's a lot less words. A lot less words. So if you have access to the NFHS Part 2 test and you want to send it to me at... How about that? Look at that. I got skills. Hello at a better official. I mean, if I get it from multiple places, obviously that wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, I've got to go do some grandparenting, right? Because if I'm here, that means grandma's got all the work, right? She needs a break. She needs some relief. Charlie, who? Let's see. Let me go here. Oh, it's not there. Ooh, hold on. You know I have skills. Let's see. Where is he? Where's the laddie boy? Oh. There he is.
Play
There's our wee
number
fella.
6.
I got to go spend some time with that guy.
Play number 5.
Yeah. Couldn't get him to look at the camera. All right. I appreciate
Play
everybody joining
number
today. I hope
4.
everybody has a great one. I will be back tomorrow. And
Play
again
number
on
3.
Friday, we'll look at great plays.